Hello and welcome to the first day recap in the Sarah Boone case. As you can see on the surrounding, this is the case about a woman who allegedly redrummed her boyfriend by leaving him in a suitcase to suffocate. This case has been a long time coming and it's finally started. Started out, as always, with opening statements. The state's opening statements I found were pretty good, not the best, maybe a 7 out of 10. But they laid out what happened. They read what Sarah is saying in her very drunk video, which isn't easy to listen to, even if it's just uh, a guy reading it on the podium. The defense didn't have the strongest opening, in my opinion. I have a hard time seeing that this defense team is going to be that good. It seems like they are, as Jess have said multiple times, they are plea deal lawyers. They were coming in thinking we can convince her to take that plea deal and we can get our 50 minutes of fame and everything will be swell. The problem is they never met a woman like Sarah Boone before. And to be honest, and normally I don't do the body language. I don't really believe that you can tell anything when you don't know the person. It's more like people who want to tell you they can tell you your future in tea leaves. But seeing the way she's been acting this first week with the jury selection and all the hearings, she seems to kind of enjoy it. That now all the focus is on Sarah. And rewatching the body cam video, we were shown later by the first arriving officer who we have watched the body cam video before, but just seeing how me, everything Sarah says is, made me think that Sarah has really been looking forward to this. Finally, she can get not her day in court, but her 15 minutes of fame. We know from all her previous writings that she's very, very not annoyed, but very, well, maybe kind of annoyed that people like me and everyone else can cover this and get some fame off of it. That she kind of feels like she's entitled to do the same thing, and that's kind of the vibe I'm getting off of her when she's sitting there in the courtroom, scribbling all the time, constantly trying to look at the paralegal girls that is sitting behind her. And she seems kind of like she's enjoying that everything is about her. Doesn't show any emotion when they go through the evidence. It was a quick first day. We had opening statements from both sides, roughly 25-30 minutes from each side. And then we went through 10 witnesses and body cam video and the 911 call. So it's a very speedy trial. Makes it easier to watch because it's not as bogged down as you see in many trials. But the witnesses they brought in, I thought it was in a good way. They are building, I talked about this with the better row letters the other day. They are building a good suspense curve. They started out with Jorge George's brother, who said, well, he called me that night, didn't seem drunk. I could hear Sarah yelling in the background. Next person, Brian Boone. Did they miss one or two opportunities to emphasize how bad of a person Sarah was? Maybe. Maybe they didn't want to do it to not seem like they're picking too much on her. Hard to tell. But that's why I'm saying, well, the state isn't a 10. It's maybe a 7 on the first day, because they could probably swing the hammer a little bit harder on Sarah. We know she was not a good person. They had her neighbors in testifying about all the noise they heard. And we're still speculating. Did she push him down the stairs in a suitcase? Did she throw the suitcase down? Did someone fall down the stairs? We don't know. We'll probably never ever find out what all of that noise was inside of the house. We just know the neighbors heard a whole heck of a lot of noise coming seemingly down the stairs. We had police officers and they did it in a good way, just to be able to play videos and tapes later. It wasn't this long, dragged out talk about, oh, is this you and is that you? And it was just sweet to the deal. I really liked that. And we had a crime scene investigator who was out there taking pictures and testifying to what she saw. And I think the defense was okay with that, maybe because their entire strategy is raise reasonable doubt. And they asked, why didn't you photograph this? Did you see that? Did you see this? And she said, no, I didn't see any holes in a wall or other stuff that could indicate previous DV, because why would you look for it when Sarah never told about it before the case started, that she was a victim of spousal abuse? It's maybe it'll hit some of the viewers not viewers, but juries in a good way, so they will think about it and say, oh, the police didn't do their job well enough. That's why they got a few good ones in there. Why didn't you test this? Why didn't you test that? And she really didn't come off that strong in that part. But another thing that was really strong, I thought, was the visual. I'm very visual. They brought out, of course, the suitcase, where you can sit there and think a person could be inside of that. They brought out the Louisville Slugger, but they also brought out the 2 bottles of wine. Sarah has constantly been saying we shared a bottle of wine. First of all, that shared bottle of wine was 1.5 liters. That's 2 bottles of wine in one. And there were 2 of them. Plus, they have evidence that they had some from the night before. Well, she claims they had finished that bottle, drunk another bottle. But that'll put her at least, if they were sharing it, 1 full bottle of double bottle of wine. So she was at least 2 bottles of wine in. I can't prove it, but thinking about it, with her constant begging for the Dr. Pepper the morning after, I'm surprised there wasn't some fifth of vodka or something hidden in the house, maybe multiple empty bottles of that. I think she was one of those who spiked her soda can all the day through. And Dr. Pepper has distinct smell, so she'll probably think, oh, I can hide the smell of liquor if I drink it in Dr. Pepper. That's my theory. I have nothing to prove it, but I have a theory that's why she was begging for that can of Dr. Pepper that morning, because first of all, she is an alcoholic. Second of all, she was hungover like all crap. And we know if you're drunk in white wine, especially cheap white wine, your mouth is dry the next day. We heard a little bit from her medical reports that she lied. She lied about how much she was drinking. She claimed she wasn't a daily drinker, but she later changed that. So I think for the first day, state did okay. Defense, a few good swings at the ball, but this case is so hard, and Sarah is so unlikable that I have a hard time seeing they can, in any way, shape, or form, get her off the hook. And they said Sarah will take the stand, so it's going to be very interesting. But hopefully you'll join us tomorrow when we watch day 2, or these recap videos will always be made the next day, so you can get a quick update on how I believe it went the day before in the Sarah Boone case. Thank you for watching.